Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode with the Frugal Frank Dukes. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
We're doing good, Frank. How are you? We're doing good. Have my guest star Lexi with me. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit about where this all started and how it began. So, as you can see, it started with a specific series. And it started in, I want to say, the early 90s. Maybe 90, 91. And it all started with a copy of Final Fantasy for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Come along on this classic adventure with you and 3 of your friends. Battle the evil chaos for victory and crystals to save the world. So, I picked up a copy of this when I was a little kid at a yard sale. I bought a handful of games. I remember it was Final Fantasy, Mega Man 4, Mega Man 2. I want to say, I think there was a Dragon Warrior game, maybe Dragon Warrior 1. And from there, it just spiraled into this. As you can see, I don't have the complete Final Fantasy collection. Sorry for the glare. But we do have a few titles out of it. So, let's start off with the beginning, with the original Final Fantasy. We have it. I do have a complete mint in the box copy of this. Has everything that came with the game, all the maps and everything. They're in very pristine condition. That's why I'm not opening it up. Because, well, you know how it is. You don't want to open boxes. Especially 30-year-old boxes. Now, that was a gift. Somebody bought that for me. Somebody very close to me was nice enough to purchase that. So then we have our copy of Final Fantasy II, Mystic Quest, and 3. Now, I never owned 3 or Mystic Quest as a kid, but I did own a copy of Final Fantasy II. Which was really probably the worst port of the game for the Super Nintendo in the US. It made the game so easy. It was just, it was just a breeze. My daughter could probably play it if she wanted to and just mash buttons the whole time. Kind of like Mystic Quest where, if you die, you just come back to life and it's all gravy. But we do have Mystic Quest here with a second copy of Mystic Quest. Sorry. Forgot I just picked up that from a coworker. So we have 2 copies of Mystic Quest there. And we have a box with Mystic Quest. It's pretty rough, as you can see. It's definitely seen better days, but the cardboard these were made out of was actually not meant to hold up. It was recycled post-consumer product. And back then, it's not like it is nowadays where everything's got a nice high gloss finish and whatnot. It had a nice finish, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't the same material and quality that we're used to nowadays. So then we move on to Final Fantasy III. I did not own a copy of this as a child, but a friend of mine did, and I was always so jealous when he brought the game over. It looked so cool, and it was just awesome. The Espers, and when they were around, and then, the Magic Knights, and all that stuff, that was just amazing back in the day when I was a kid. Now, if I remember right, I'm pretty sure, I think this is the reproduction. Yeah, this is a reproduction box. So this is not original. I was winning an auction for this and ended up paying, I think it was around 30 or 35 bucks for a copy of this with the box. And I was all excited and amped up. I'm like, oh, I just got a Final Fantasy with the box, And then I got it, and the guy sent me a letter saying, hey, just so you know, that's a reproduction box, not original. And I was like, oh, well, that's nice. And long story short, he ended up refunding me some money to make up the difference. And yeah, it worked out good. So I think I ended up paying like $20, $21 or $22 for the game in total. So not a bad deal. So then we move on to the rest of it. Because like I said, I only owned the Game Boy Advance versions. I did purchase these when they came out originally. Final Fantasy 1 and 2 is my my actual copy that I purchased when it originally came out. And I was even so careful back then that it still has the cellophane around it. It is it is open, but it still does have the original cellophane on it. I don't know if you can see it inside that bag there. I keep them in Ziploc bags because I am a smoker, so my white games tend to get yellowed, but it happens. So Final Fantasy IV, which is a remake of Final Fantasy II, the little better translation. Sorry about the glare there. That's one of the better versions of the game to play. We'll get into the best version later. Final Fantasy V. This was previously never released in America. This was the first available version to play it on a console. And it was actually pretty good. I liked it. It had all the job systems and all that jazz. Now, I do have a copy of Final Fantasy VI, but it is a reproduction cartridge, and the guy scammed me on it, and I was mad about it, so I didn't even want to include it in the video. So, that is in the wish list for future purchase. Hopefully we'll come across an authentic version of it, because there is a lot of reproductions of most of these games out there, and it makes it really hard collecting to try to find authentic copies. Also, an original copy of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. This is a scaled back version of the PlayStation game. Still pretty good. A little bit shorter. I can't remember the exact details, but I mean, I think I've only played this once or twice. Played the PlayStation version a couple times, which I forgot to pull out all my PlayStation versions. So we'll go over to this PlayStation shelf and show those off in a minute. Here are the 3DS and DS versions of the games I have. 3, 4 Heroes of Light, Theater Rhythm Curtain Call, and Explorers. Now, I played Explorers. I plugged it in. Looked like a Dynasty Warriors type game. Dynasty Warriors meets Final Fantasy. So I played about 5 minutes, turned it off, put it back on the shelf. I'll probably never play it again. I hear it's a good game, though. Theater Rhythm Curtain Call. Also, I hear it's a great game if you're into music and stuff like that for the games, but not really my cup of tea. Plus, it's sealed. Yeah, I've never opened it, so I have a really hard time. I'll probably just buy another copy so I don't have to open that one. We got 3, which is a remake of the original 3. This is your first chance to play 3, the original 3, in America. And it's actually pretty good. I like this one. I did play this all the way through. I have the hard copy of the strategy guide for it. Now, this Final Fantasy IV is the best version, in my opinion, to play of the game. Now, it has the best translation, and the graphics are great, and they really raised the difficulty level here. So, no longer is it you can just mash the button and hope for the best, but you actually have to put some thought and effort into your battle plans, your boss strategies, stuff like that. So, if you're going to play a copy, play Final Fantasy IV on the DS, and I think the Steam version is the same port of that. Now here we have our PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360 copies. All 3 of the Xbox 360 copies are sealed, except for Lightning Returns here. So the other 2 are, I guess. 13, 13-2, and Lightning Returns. I've never played any of those. Probably won't. I heard they suck. I don't know. But they're a Final Fantasy title, so I had to get them. Then we got 10, 10-2, and 12. Now, once again, I wasn't big on the character customization, I guess that's the way I want to put it. So I never got into 10 and 10-2. And Final Fantasy 12, I think I plugged it in, and it was really like 13, about the same concept. So yeah, it didn't do it for me. We come over here and we got Crystal Chronicles for the GameCube. We got, I believe, yep, Crystal Chronicles Echoes of Time for the Wii, both of which I've never played. There's a few Crystal Chronicles games I don't have out of that series, mainly for the DS. We'll work on them. Then we have the PSP collection. Now, I didn't own these. I just bought them recently. Past year, I guess. And, yeah, Dissidia was the best one out of the bunch. The 1 and 2 just took way too long. Even Tactics took way too long with all the loading time and everything else you have to deal with. I mean, the graphics are nice, but, yeah, just didn't do it for me. I'm an original kind of guy. Alright, then we come over here to our PlayStation shelf, and we have Final Fantasy Anthology, 7, 8, 9, and Tactics. Now, I did own all three of these games. Actually, no. Now, come to think of it, I own Anthology, 7, 8. I didn't own 9. I didn't buy 9 when it came out. But I did own Tactics and Chocobo's Dungeon. A very good dungeon crawler, roguelike game for the PlayStation. And you star as a Chocobo instead of a Final Fantasy guy, which is great. I love it. Between that and Tornico, The Last Hope, which I thought I bought, but maybe not. Maybe not. Do you guys see that anywhere? I don't. Nope. That's okay. That's on the list. That was one I really wanted. But I remember I had both of those, and it introduced me to roguelike games like Diablo and Azure Dreams, things like that. They were really fun. Frustrating. Oh, so frustrating. Because, well, as soon as you die, you gotta start over at square one. So, if you didn't come out of the dungeon or save, and you just spent 13 hours grinding, it was all for naught. But, that's all we got for this video. Sorry it was a little long-winded. Well, thanks everybody. Have a great day.